at the water this afternoon with this Crownline 220 EX, the 2007 boat with the Mercruiser 5.0L MPI 260 horsepower Sterndrive. She's matched up to a Bravo II drive, swinging a big 3-blade stainless prop. Boat's in immaculate condition, really nice one. So we're going to put her on the water now and put her through her paces and show you how she performs underway. So we have the Crownline afloat now, and we are just about to put it through its paces here on the water to show you how it performs with the 5.0L MPI. But before we do that, I'll just briefly walk you through the dashboard here, the instruments and the switchgear. So we've got a full range of the original Crownline instruments, which are all in perfect working order, which is great. So we've got an engine temperature gauge. The temperature sits around about 175 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, that's what it should be. It's bang on there. Oil pressure varies with engine speed, but it's sort of, whenever the engine's fully hot at idle, tends to be around about 20 or 30 psi, increasing to sort of 70 to 80 with at full throttle, full RPM. The speedo's working. You'll see that as we're running the boat. Fuel gauge is working just under a half a tank of fuel. This is our digital depth sounder, giving us the depth of water under the keel in feet here. And we have our RPM tacho with built-in hour clock. She's just turned 116 hours. Voltmeter showing just under 14 volts, so she's charging okay, 13.5 volts. And then we've got our power trim, or sorry, Sterndrive trim gauge, which is working as well. You see it going up there. We'll get our trim back down. You got a trim down for putting on the plane. All the switch gears all working too. Blower motor, bilge pump. The horn's a wee bit anemic sounding, but it's there and working. 12 volt switch. Nav lights, cabin lights, which are these little lights here. That also does your bow lights. These are a couple of spare switches and our fresh water pump switch. And then we've got our Navman, or sorry, North Star Explorer. This is our GPS speed here as well, 2 knots. And we've got our VHF radio down there too. So steering's nice and smooth. The throttle and shift is good as well. It's well balanced. So forward, neutral, reverse, and yeah, we'll get her on plane here now and show you how she runs. So for getting the boat on plane, I've got her trimmed fully down, the whole way down. And generally speaking, unless you're running this boat sort of above 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, I would generally just leave the trim fully down. I think it is quite a big heavy boat, so you don't need that much trim unless you're looking to run sort of close to top end speed. But I'm in a seated position at the helm here. Steering wheel is within easy reach. I've got it tilted all the way down here, and everything's nice and easy to reach. And I'll just show you now. So clear visibility through the middle of the screen. If I sit on top of the bolster, flip up the bolster, then I'm looking just over the top of the screen. So it's a bit chilly today, so I've left the bow cover on and I'm going to sit down behind the screen. So we'll give her a handful of throttle here and get her up on plane. So here we go. So that's her. You sort of momentarily lose sight of the horizon whenever she is climbing up on plane, but she drops down within a couple of seconds. So straight back down, and you get clear visibility through the screen. This is us running around about 3,000 RPM, and we're doing about 25 miles an hour. That's us about 25 miles an hour. Temperature, pressure looks good. It's about 21 knots according to the GPS. We've got the tide coming in here against the flow of the river, and also there's a wee bit of wind coming this direction too, so it means you get this really uncomfortable little short steep chop on the water, these wee short waves. But this boat cuts through it nicely, feels nice and solid, no bangs or rattles or anything out of it. That's the benefit of the wide beam and the deep V hull. So this is 3,000 RPM, 25 miles an hour. We'll go for a full throttle run. So there you go. Definitely a bit lumpy out in the middle of the river there, so it's hard to like keep the camera stable. But the boat's cruising really comfortably. 3,000 RPM is about 25 miles an hour, and that's going to be your sort of economical cruising speed. It gets up on the plane quickly, the nose pop drops down very fast, There's a load of grunt. It feels like there's a lot of thrust. With that Bravo II drive swinging a big prop, it means that you've got a load of sort of, you know, it feels like equivalent to like torque in a car. You know, it gets the boat up on plane. There's plenty of thrust there, and even with a full load of passengers, this thing's still going to plane easily. Flat out with the drive trimmed up and in along the smooth water at the water's edge. We were revving out to about 5,300 RPM or thereabouts, and we were doing around about 47, 48 miles an hour on the speedo. So just, I'd say on a calm day, I would say that you would get up to probably just squeeze 50 miles an hour out of it. But this boat's definitely happiest at around about the sort of 25 to 35 miles an hour range, where the engine's not working too hard. It's going to be pretty economical, and the thing's just tipping along nicely. All the temperatures and pressures are perfect, all the gauges are working. Because it's a cold day, they are fogging up a wee bit. You get that this time of year, just a wee bit of mist on the lenses there at the minute, but that'll go out of it in the springtime, summertime. So yeah, nice running boat, steering's nice and light, throttle and shift is good, everything looks is behaving as it should. The full dash is working. This is a really nice running Crownline 220, a very solid feeling boat on the water, good protection from the windscreen. Your passengers are going to feel safe and secure inside it, and even if it is a bit choppier, I mean, on smaller boats, that chop out in the middle of the river would really upset them, but this thing, it just powered straight through it, and it's not actually that bad. It looks worse because I'm trying to hold the camera and my arms going, but it's not actually that bad. It's pretty comfortable in this boat. So yeah, lovely running Crownline 220 EX. Hopefully this has been useful and helpful to show you how it performs on the water.